Hello and welcome back to the ITH channel, and beside me is a car I have been waiting to get behind the wheel of for a very long time. This is the Tesla Model 3 Performance. Thank you again to BOTB. You could get this car on your driveway for just £2.70, so please go and get a ticket if you can. Okay, so to start with, let's have a little bit of info about Tesla and this car. So they started out years ago making the Roadster, which was based on the Lotus Elise. Then they brought out the Model S, which is a 5/7 series sized large luxury saloon thing. And then they made the Model X, which was the SUV high-riding version of that with funky gull-wing falcon doors, that sort of thing. And then, of course, there was this, which is the Model 3. Now, there is actually since then been the Model Y released, or pictures of it anyway, which is a slightly SUV-ish version of this, which I'm sure will sell like the proverbial hotcakes. Now, in the Model 3 range, there are three versions. You have the standard at the bottom, which is rear-wheel drive only, single motor. Then you have the long range, and then sitting at the top of the tree, you've got this, which is the Model 3 Performance, the big daddy. We've got two motors. There is one on the front axle, one on the rear axle, which makes this all-wheel drive, which helps with the incredible levels of grip that it has. More on that later. They put out a combined 444 brake horsepower and well over 700 Newton meters of torque. The key factor being that all of that torque is available, as with all EVs, at 0 RPM. So right from the get-go, you put your foot down and you've got over 700 Newton meters of torque, which is bonkers. And this is one place that these EVs really come into their own. Pulling out of a junction, Jesus, it really does handle really well. Biggest surprise for me, the steering. The steering in this is genuinely very, very good. It's much weightier than I was expecting. I would have thought, I mean, I've driven quite a few EVs before, and with the Model S Ludicrous, that was quite light in the steering. This is quite weighty. It genuinely has feel. Now, it's obviously an electric only system because it can be disconnected for things like playing computer games. One thing that does take new drivers of these Teslas time to get used to is the regenerative braking. Now, when you lift your foot off the accelerator on this thing, it's the same as probably applying 30% pressure to your brake. It really does slow down quite rapidly, and that takes a lot of getting used to, in my opinion. Again, talking about performance, I'm just joined a country road, and it's rude not to. Shit. Oh, it makes me feel sick! And license losing. I'm assuming that gets old at some point. It's probably at the point at which you vomit in your car. So when you point this thing down a country lane, it really comes alive and really surprises, actually. That's because even though it's quite a weighty number at 1.8 tons, then all that weight is low down thanks to the battery pack. So that gives you a very low centre of gravity, which makes tuning the handling a lot easier. There's not going to be as much inherent roll in the car. Now, it's also all-wheel drive with lots of very clever sensors which help attribute the torque to the different wheels. And there is a track mode. Now, it's been soaking wet and raining for most of the day today, so I'm not even going to attempt it because that takes all the traction control off, and frankly, this isn't my car. Right, so I pulled over and stopped to talk about charging. Now, this Model 3 Performance comes with a 75 kilowatt hour battery. Now, in broad terms, what that means is 329 mile range. Now, that isn't just some PR speak nonsense stuff. This is an actual usable, real world 300 plus mile range. That is outstanding. Now, that means you could drive from where I live in Essex to where my parents live up near Manchester. I mean, it is genuinely this is a game-changing amount of range that you have in a car like this. Range anxiety out the window completely. Now, this is one of those strange cars. When you see it in pictures, it may look a little bit sort of dumpy, not that attractive. But you know what? When you see this thing in person, it all comes together quite well. You can see a lot more of these contours, a lot clearer in the metal. And you know what? I actually think from the front, it's a fairly decent and very attractive looking car. Sure, it's not got what you'd call aggressiveness or sportiness, but it is a car, and it is a fairly stylish looking car, if maybe a smidge bland. Haha! Well, this is the Model 3 Performance, therefore you get 20-inch alloy wheels, which are a very, very nice design, and I'm very happy to see them in silver. Now, one thing I'm a big fan of is this glass house, which goes right the way over to the back here, thanks to the panoramic roof. So not only does it make it very airy inside, it also gives it this nice look as it goes over, because the whole lot is black and darker than the body colour. Here we have what is arguably one of the Tesla's most amazing features, which is the interior. Inside is where we have 2 of the 3 options you can get on this car. That's it. The first option is actually the paintwork. You can get some standard paint colours, which aren't very exciting, white and I think black. This lovely blue paint that you've seen in all our lovely B-roll is £1,000. Now, the second option on this is this white and black interior. As standard, it comes as all black, and it's a little bit dark and sort of suffocating. If you can't see, I'm currently just going to roll my eyes. This is called vegan leather. Well, no, it's not vegan leather, is it? It's not leather at all. It's plastic, but who cares? It smells great, it feels fantastic, and it's incredibly comfy. As you can see, this interior is completely dominated by the only thing that's in it other than the steering wheel. There's nothing. There's a steering wheel, 2 stalks, and a massive screen in front of me. Everything, and I mean everything, is on that. Everything apart from gear selection, which is over here with this right-hand lever, and indicators, and washing your windscreen. That's all you get on these. And you've got 2 little knobbles here for moving the volume up. Everything is on this screen. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So we are talking the speedo is right there, your windscreen wiper controls are on the screen, all your seats, all your fan, all of that is all on this screen. So whenever you want to do anything, check your speed. Your eyes have to drop down and to the left. Now, I'm sure with time and familiarity, this would get easier and better. But the fact is, in a car, normally your speedo is there. Your eyes just have to glance down, and in fact, what's happening in front of you is still very much in your peripheral vision. This is not. I'm looking down to the left. When you look down to the left, your peripheral really doesn't show what's going on there. You don't notice things as much. And we've also got Toy Box up here, which gives you all of these things. I mean, it's just bonkers. You've got fart noises. I can make it fart. I am such a child. And it's very hard to do this whilst filming, but I mean, that is just bonkers. I mean, it's a car, but it's an arcade game. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so around the back of the Tesla, we have this rather fancy little lip spoiler. Now, you get this on the Performance model, and you know what? It's actually really quite nice. It's carbon fibre, actual, real, genuine carbon fibre, and it's quite subtle. This is a very heavy boot lid, and it's hardly sprung at all, and it isn't electric. That surprises me. I thought it would be electric, but it's not. The key point here is, if you notice this large expanse of glass here, when this is covered in water, now this was the case earlier today, there was an absolute deluge and the car was absolutely covered in water. I went around the side, shut the door, and the vibration of that made all the water that was on here just dribble down and go straight into the boot, and it is actually still damp down here. This is a truly fantastic car. I am absolutely blown away. Firstly by the handling, secondly by the performance shouldn't really be a shock because it's a Tesla and they always blow your mind, but yeah, I'm genuinely absolutely blown away by this car, and I could absolutely see one in my life as my daily driver. This is where these things come into their own, you see. The owner of this car has this EV, he's also got an AMG GTS and some 60s Dodge Coronet RT massive V8 American Yank tank. So he's got his cars for fun and for high days and holidays, and then he's got this for his everyday duties. That is the perfect thing to do, and I genuinely think that that is the way that EVs are going to succeed. I can't actually stop this though without saying thank you again to BOTB. You could get this car on your driveway for just £2.70, so please go and get a ticket if you can. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, click that button, and if you haven't liked this video, why not? It was brilliant. Click that as well and just go and do all the things. I am very tired, it's very late, and I'm going. Bye-bye.